quiet seaside town, an evil laid to rest centuries ago, has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
Hello and welcome to Tabletop Gold, episode 18. The 18th episode. My name is Lars Casteen. You are here for another installment of our ongoing playthrough of the Abomination Vaults adventure path. It's going to be a good night tonight. If my voice sounds different than it normally does, you're about to hear an explanation for that as soon as I meet and you meet all of our players. Let's do that right now. Robin Lange is here.
Hi.
Hi, Robin. David Chernicoff is here.
Hello.
Zoe Chernicoff is also here.
I am. Hello.
And the person who I really want to talk to right now, our good friend, you know him as Ahmed Humphreys.
Hello.
Regular listeners of the show. And frankly, if you're on episode 18 and this is where you're jumping in, congratulations on being a real risk taker, by the way.
You are a trooper.
Or the opposite of a trooper?
Maybe a paratrooper being dropped far, far behind where you should be.
You're kind of paratrooping into the middle of this one.
Maybe go back to the start.
But Ahmed, who lives in Austin, Texas, is visiting the Grand Dame herself, New York City, Lady Liberty, the Big Apple,
Woo!
The concrete jungle.
I am so stoked to be back. It is so much fun. And Lars and I had an incredible adventure last night. We went out to, I might get this name wrong, so you may have to jump in here and correct me. The AEW Dynamite Grand Slam Wrestling. Now, this part isn't part of it. This is my editorial contribution.
Right,
of
this
its
is
title.
descriptive language.
Wrestling Extravaganza Bonanza. Anything with a ZA kind of sounds. Yeah. It was bananas, and it was so awesome.
Bonanza.
It was so much fun.
So that's why my voice is weird. I was yelling at pro wrestlers all night last night.
Did it work?
Oh,
They
yeah.
listen?
They listened. They thought I made some interesting contributions. I got some notes back, but I think overall I helped.
There's a meeting of the minds.
So, Ahmed, you have like no wrestling experience or exposure. I kind of feel like nobody else here does. So here's what I'm wondering. Ahmed, would you mind sort of describing what it is that we did? And I would like everybody to pepper you with as many irritating questions as possible.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, absolutely. So we showed up outside Arthur Ashe Stadium. We met up and went in, found our seats.
I feel as though this tennis venue was excellent for wrestling because it is a more vertical sort of arena. So you can be pretty close in no matter what.
Sure.
Yeah.
I also want to say that our seats that we watched 5 hours of wrestling from.
5 hours?
It was
Stop
amazing.
How many matches are in 5 hours of wrestling?
Around 12-ish, I would guess.
Oh, so a match
Yeah.
goes on a really long time.
Yeah, so the very first match of the like TV broadcast that they were taping was a 30-minute time limit draw.
It was awesome. They really invested in the matchup, and so they were like really telling this story about how they were evenly matched, and it was great to have Lars's insights, because he was like, okay, so now what they're doing is they're testing each other. And so they're testing their joint manipulation. They're testing their striking against one another. And the narrative that the two performers were telling is that they're just evenly matched. Brian Danielson, the American Dragon. Did I get his name right?
Yeah, you did. You got it.
Woo! Facing off against the heel Kenny Ortega.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Omega.
Wrong.
Omega. Kenny Omega.
And Kenny Ortega, so it's very different.
Yeah. That's just like a dude like, hey, what's up? I'm Kenny. Why are you guys in my house? This is not a wrestling match.
Yeah.
Like,
Please leave.
please leave. This is very rude.
Oh, that hurts my shoulder.
Yeah, don't put any joint manipulation on me. I'm just a guy. Meanwhile, Kenny Omega, that dude rules at wrestling.
Much better
yeah.
than Kenny Ortega.
Yeah, so much better.
I have to say, I'm totally delighted by the idea of Lars doing that sort of in-person narration. Seems like a pretty delightful,
Like a running explainer talk
It was
track.
awesome.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how happy it makes me to hear people say that isn't my most annoying feature that I have.
Oh, not at
Because
all.
it's certainly a thing
No
that
way.
I'm very self-conscious about, that I feel like I talk too much and am annoying and explain stuff too much.
No, I don't feel that. Wait,
Yeah,
so I want to hear about
praise
the
coming
crowd.
on. Oh, okay.
I want to hear about the crowd at this event.
Oh, I want to tell you something about the crowd at this event last
Yes,
night.
please.
So, as a New York State event, or maybe New York City, I don't know exactly what the terms of this thing are. We had to show our vaccine card
Oh,
to
fun.
get into the event. And the people that they had doing that were paying basically no attention whatsoever.
Sure.
It was not an impressive bit of security there.
And so this was the first time that I had been in a public place of this size since the pandemic started, and I was very nervous about getting COVID, which we'll see in a few days how that turned out.
Right now, you
But-
sound great.
Sunny, my wife, was like, no, it's okay. It's going to be an outdoor stadium. And then I got in and I was like, it's closed. This is not an outdoor stadium. I am indoors for 5 hours
the roof.
watching Kevin Ortega getting run from pillar to post for half an hour
With Ryan
But
McDaniels.
with Ronald
Ryan.
McDonald. And the particular disquieting moment for me where I was like, oh, I've made a mistake, was walking through the hallway, getting to our seats, passing a dude in a black t-shirt, because that's what you wear to a wrestling show,
Sure. Yeah.
with Dr. Fauci's face painted up like a clown with a red nose on.
no.
No, I didn't see that guy. Oh, God.
Like in a sort of loving praise, fun clown support system guy
Right.
way.
This dude just loves clowns, I
See,
guess.
that kind
Oh,
of thing is like one of my
no.
favorite things that happens in where you have a real life experience where something happens to you that is the 30 Rock joke version of what you're doing right then.
Yeah.
like,
Totally.
like that's it's like, how can we show very quickly that this is dangerous from a COVID standpoint? I don't know. We'll just throw Clown Fauci on a t-shirt.
Clown Fauci.
It's such a horrible joke, because I'm sure some people are like, ha ha, ha, yeah, screw that guy. And everybody else is like, oh no.
Yeah. But that's probably part of the desired effect too, right? I don't know. It's like
Oh yeah, you don't say that a public figure is a clown without having some intention of like rustling some
Are you
feathers.
sure it wasn't just a famous wrestler who does a clown face who happens to look a little bit like Fauci?
But also knowing that like half the people in the crowd are going to be like, yeah, man.
So I think I think this is a relatively apolitical crowd at this wrestling show.
Well, maybe not. Well, maybe it's more that the people you're either going to get no comment or you're going to get someone giving you a pat
Totally.
on the back.
Or you're gonna get an antagonistic comment and then you can fucking fight someone at a wrestling
There you
match,
go.
which I think is the real reason.
Because if
you
you're
do
going
that.
to wear that, it's because you're comfortable in having a fight about it.
yeah,
Yeah, and the thought did cross my mind, but I ultimately decided not to get in close physical proximity with the person who is most likely to have COVID in the building.
to be fair, they probably had it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've already had it 3
Yeah.
times.
Well, guys, thank you for this extended wrestling conversation. We're going to jump into our game right now. If you are enjoying Tabletop Gold, please rate and review us on your podcast app of choice. the one that you have open right now, here's what you do. You take your dirty little finger and
Your clean, COVID-free fingers.
you take your clean, well-manicured finger and you scroll on down to the thing that says review and you tap 5 and then you say, my fingers aren't dirty, you jerk. But that's a 5-star review, please. Okay.
Lars
Let's
is
get
rude, but everyone else is delightful.
Let's get into our game. It is around 9 p.m. on a crisp spring evening. A few minutes ago, when a bright light burst from the old lighthouse overlooking the town of Otari and started washing the graveyard in an eerie blue, the dead started to rise from their graves. You've cut them all down, including the zombified remains of your friend Haplo. And then, suddenly, the light intensified for a moment and then went completely dark. As your eyes have adjusted to the darkness, you've realized that you are now standing before a large crab monster covered with a sickly smelling mucus and sharpened quills all over its legs. There's one thing I want to say. There's dim light right now that this blue light has stopped shining over the graveyard. Norman currently has a torch out, which is casting enough light for everybody.
No. Norman's cape lit up when the light came on.
I'm sorry, you're exactly right. Norman's light is currently shining a brilliant golden hue by which you're able to see this crab scuttling back and forth in front of you. But if you were to cross outside of that, you would be in dim light, which means that you need to roll a flat check to see if you hit your target. Or if instead you slash at the night sky, accomplishing nothing. Do you get what I'm saying?
So we're right at the edge.
You're right at the edge. And I would like everybody right now to please. Yeah. Roll for initiative. And let's get crabby.
Gross.
What? How is that gross? Crab is delicious. I would like to remind everybody that this crab is covered with a foul-smelling mucus.
Hence me saying gross.
You're right. I see. I've hoisted on my own petard.
Potato.
Also joining this fight are the 3 town guards that Trill inspired to join the fight against the undead that were risen from the grave.
And Norman. Norman got one in there.
Oh, Norman got one of them. Absolutely. So there are 3 guards here, Amber, Jessica, and Mark. Of course, named after the reality show Something or Other, which I'm not even able to make fun of now because we just spent 20 minutes talking about pro wrestling and I'm going to sound like an asshole.
It's just different.
Yeah.
But let me get a sense of what everybody's initiative roll is, please.
23 for Norman.
A respectable 22 for Trill.
24 for Mag. Party was ready.
Ooh.
Nice. And a 22 for Vadim as well.
Wow.
So all 4 of you are faster than all 3 of these guards, but none of you are as fast as this crab creature, which rolled stealth for initiative, as it suddenly appears in front of you and starts to attack. So here is the situation at the top of round 1. We're in this graveyard. There are 2 intersecting paths at the center of the graveyard, and there are these gravestones all around you. You're standing basically at the intersection of these 2 paths. The crab has appeared after this flash of bright light, sort of midway between all 4 of you. Mag and Vadim are standing just to the north of the crab, and then Norman, the 3 guards, and Trill are a little bit further south. One thing to also point out is that Trill is standing right in front of the mayor of town, Mayor Osif Menhemez, who is just ranting. Oh, Abadar, Abadar, and cursing, and just he's gone into something resembling shock as he sees this abomination that has just appeared at the edge of the town for which he is responsible. Speaking of this abomination, here's what it is going to do on its turn. This six-legged, armor-plated creature spins around facing towards Vadim and Mag, opens its three-part mouth, and a plume of toxic oil sprays out from a gland inside of its mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I need Vadim and Mag both to give me a reflex save to see if you can dodge out of the way.
23 for Mag.
Vadim got a 15, but I will use a hero point to re-roll that check.
Great.
There we go. That is a 23.
So both Mag and Vadim, with a roll of 23, managed to dodge out of the way of most of this toxic chemical that is spraying on top of them. That means that each of them is only going to take 1d8 poison damage as just a plume hits them, and that's a low damage roll. That is 1 point of damage to each of them.
Nice.
As they are hit with just the edge of the spray of poison emanating from the mouth of this crab. And now the crab is going to open its jaws, hissing, scuttling with its legs onto Vadim. So this is a strike against Vadim with its mouth clamping onto Vadim. That is going to be a 23 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay, and I need Vadim to make a fortitude save as he feels a burning sensation in his leg that gets bitten.
This actually might have been the one to save the hero point for. Ooh, that is a 15 for a fortitude save.
That 15 is going to be a failure. You also take 14 points of piercing damage from the jaws as they clamp down on top of you. Vadim feels himself go weak in the legs as this poison courses through his system. He is now clumsy 1.
Ooh.
It's at this point that Mag, seeing Vadim get chomped on and seeing him suddenly sway back and forth, that she decides to move.
The first thing I want to do is ask you about how delaying my turn works.
The way that delaying your turn works is you just pop yourself out of the turn order and you tell me when you want to jump back in.
Got it. So I can pick anywhere in the order to go?
Yes, but if you don't pick by the time that your turn would come around again, you just lose the turn.
Oh, I see. I pop out and I don't even have to tell you now. I can just jump back in whenever?
You're just like, Mag goes now.
Got it. I'm gonna... Okay, yeah.
Great.
That's great.
It's a thing I really like about this game.
That's great. All right, so Mag has seen this crab appear and make this strike at Vadim, and she's ready to go. And also, she's aware that she doesn't know anything about what this creature is. And she also knows that in the past, hearing Trill's song has tended to be helpful in not rolling threes. So, Mag quickly calls out, "Trill, Norman, what is this thing?" And then waits for her moment.
Okay, so Mag holds off going. It is now Norman's turn.
So Norman's going to try and figure out a little bit about this beastie beast. He doesn't like it. He's glowing. He's enraged. Is that a nature check or occultism? What, what's this thing?
Yeah, this is occultism. This is not a natural creature. This is something from down below the surface of the earth.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll your secret check for you to see if you know anything about this creature. And you do not. You have never seen this quill-covered, poison-soaked crab creature before in your life.
The next thing Norman's gonna do is shout down to Barnett. Come on, man. This thing is serious. We need your help. And, well, everyone else has gotten in here. What are you waiting for?
So I'm going to say that makes sense. It's a new fight. It makes sense that you would be able to try again to convince Barnett, the fourth guard, who is currently crossing their arms and refusing to participate at the edge of the
I also
graveyard.
feel like he has the shame of the mayor next to him, you know?
Yes. Yes, for sure. So go ahead and give me a diplomacy check, please, to make the request that he join.
That is a 25.
So that 25 is enough, and he says, fine, and he joins the combat, but he is going to start the combat frightened.
Okay, and then Norman is gonna draw out his bow so he has it ready.
It is now Trill's turn. Trill sees Mag sort of looking over towards her expectantly. What is Trill going to do?
Well, let's start with a classic first action or first move of combat, Trill move. And Trill's going to start with Lingering Composition.
Lingering calm.
Okay.
And her performance check is going to come out to be a... That's going to be a lovely 27.
Okay.
So that 27 means that that's a success, not a critical success.
Oh.
Which means that your next composition cantrip is going to last for 3 rounds.
Ah, darn. I was hoping for that 4-round one again. So Trill, next to her, she's got the mayor still ranting and raving. She pulls out her harp and she says, Abadar can't save you now. On her harp, she strums a couple beautiful chords to Desna. And those beautiful chords strum through the air as though they're hugs that she's sending out to her friends.
So the inspirational force of Desna, the Song of the Spheres, washes over you. Trill's got 2 more actions. What are you going to do?
The next one is going to be recall knowledge using her occult knowledge to try and see if she knows anything about this disgusting, dripping, oozy crab thing.
Yes. So here's what Trill knows about this disgusting, oozing, dripping crab thing. Not much. She does not know really what it is that she's looking at.
Oh.
Tough crab to learn about.
I tried, guys. And so then with the last one, with my last action, I'm just going to have to raise his shield. And Trill just shouts, I tried! I tried everything I could do in my brain, and I just can't pull up anything. I don't know anything about this thing, guys.
Better
just
you than
lob
me.
what you can at it. See if we can break through its spiny shell. Its spiny, gross, drippy shell.
Is Mag going to jump in next?
Yeah, I think so. My first action, I'm going to move past this crab, sort of taking up a position opposite it, so I am flanking it. Then I'll use my second action to draw Haplo's bastard sword, and then I'm going to hit it. And that would be a 23 to hit.
The 23 is a hit.
All right.
As the bastard sword clangs into its armor, putting a dent into it. Why don't you go ahead and tell me that damage that you just rolled?
That is 10 damage.
10 points of damage to this crab as you start chipping away at it, and it whips around and looks at you, hissing in anger. And that's it for Mag's turn. It is now Vadim's turn. Mag is on the opposite side of this crab and is distracting it for you. What are you going to do?
Vadim is going to draw his Aldori dueling sword, then draw his dagger, and finally make a strike with his Aldori dueling sword while Mag is distracting it, and he's going to try and slice at one of its legs.
Crab leg buffet.
Ooh, and that is a 19 on the die for a 28 to hit.
That 28 to hit is
Crit.
not a critical hit.
What?
Not a critical. Yeah.
Wait, Matt, did you have it flat-footed, or would that knock it up another one?
It was not flat-footed.
I got it. This is not my first rodeo. I took it advantage. I know that it's flat-footed.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's not a critical hit.
Wow. This is a serious crabby.
Yeah.
However, if Vadim were feeling himself and not swaying back and forth on his legs because of being poisoned by a crab, that would have been a
That
critical
probably
hit.
would.
Ugh.
The sword bites in for 7 damage.
And it's at this point that the guards look back and forth at each other. They're just like, what do we do? So what do you want these guards to do?
Get in there. Hit that thing.
Attack it.
And they charge. First up, it's Amber, who runs up as far as she can to get next to the crab creature and to Vadim. She draws her club and strikes out with trying to crack this crab's shell open. That's a 28
Nom,
to
nom,
hit
nom.
from Amber.
Is it a critical hit for her?
Yeah, it is a critical. For her, it's a critical hit.
Oh,
When I
for
roll a
her,
28,
it's
it's a critical hit.
Good job, Amber.
And it is at that point that Jessica also draws her club and runs forward to set up on the opposite side of Amber. And here comes a strike from Jessica from Love Island.
That's
Is
right.
that what it's called? That's a 17
Blind
to
Island.
hit. Blind Island.
Calling
Love
it
is
Love
blind?
Island is sort of like calling it Kenny Ortega.
Oh, Love is Blind? Was that it?
Yeah.
There we go.
She brings her club down onto the crab, which whips around at her now, and it glances off of the crab's shell, doing absolutely nothing. And then it's Mark's turn. Mark runs straight up the middle, draws his club, and screams, "Die!" and rolls a...
Uh-oh, Marky Mark.
Fumbled hard. It is very bad.
Very
It rolls
bad.
a natural 1.
No,
Let's see what kind of a
Mark.
fumble we get from this melee attack. He is caught awkwardly. His foot catches on to the remains of one of the skeletons left behind, and he trips forward and starts sort of pivoting back and forth. He is now flat-footed for the remainder of until the end of his next turn.
Okay,
Mark.
that's not so bad.
And then frightened Barnett pulls out his club, runs past the mayor, runs past Trill, runs past Norman, looking at all three of you like, ah,
Come on,
and
Barnett.
strikes out with his club to hit this crab creature, and the crab moves its leg out of the way, and Barnett slams the club into the dirt and lets out a little like, ah.
You can do it, Barnett. Norman shouts
So here
behind him.
we are at the top of round 2. There's this toxin-covered crab that has just afflicted Vadim with a horrible poison, surrounded. Yeah. It's like the old Heathcliff cartoons where there's just a puff of smoke and you see fists popping out and fish bones flying everywhere.
It's always fish bones.
But essentially, we have 6 people. We have Vadim, we have Mag, and all 4 guards surrounding this creature to try to beat it down quickly before it's able to act again. Then we have the crab creature itself, who looks like it has had 3 large cracks cut into its exoskeleton. And then to the south, looking from a little bit of a distance, there's Norman, there's Trill, and then, still muttering to himself, Mayor Osif Menhemez. It's now time for the crab to go. The crab sees frightened Barnett and opens its jaws to strike.
Poor Barnett.
That is a critical hit
Oh.
against Barnett,
Barnett.
Oh boy.
as Barnett takes 34 points of damage
Oh no!
and is cleaved in half.
Oh, Barnett.
Oh no!
Hey.
We fucked
Collapses on the ground. The mayor sees this and is like, "What? No, all is lost." The crab whips around looking for another soft target and sees Mark. off balance,
Don't you dare.
teetering back and forth. Here comes a strike from this crab monster.
Don't you dare.
Mark is
You
our
leave
friend.
Mark alone. You leave Mark alone.
Fortune smiles on Mark once more. As the crab snaps at the air in front of it for a 10 to hit somehow.
This all-powerful
right.
crab.
And the crab moves out of this kill box that you've set up for it. And scuttles back towards the tombs at the rear edge of the graveyard, disappearing
that.
from Norman's light.
With that movement, Mag has a reaction to use, which is no escape, which lets Mag move up to her range in pursuit of a foe that starts out next to her. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now.
So the crab tries to scuttle away deeper into the graveyard, but Mag keeps pace. The disgusting smell of its oily coating filling her nose as she runs after it. Norman sees Mag and this crab disappear into the darkness. What is Norman going to do?
So Norman decides to try and distract this crab so that he can gain a flat-footed advantage on it by trying to sort of get the bushes behind the crab to wave in the air and perhaps cause it to whip its little crab head and its horrible crab mouth around.
So using his magic, Norman creates a bush distraction.
That's right. So that deception check was a 25.
You get the impression that the crab is distracted by this bush that you've
Oh, great.
manipulated.
The old bush trick worked again. Now that the crab is looking at one bush, he's going to hurl some of the skeletal remains that are there using TKP at this crab.
So TKP has a range of 30 feet,
Oh,
and
I
you
thought
are
it was
currently
60. Gosh, that is a bummer.
40 feet away from this crab.
Then Norman is glad that he pulled out his bow, and he is going to fire a couple arrows at this baby.
I pitch an idea?
Yeah.
Mag and Vadim are going to probably frontline it, and they're going to start missing. They're going to have to make concealment checks. So it might be advantageous for Norman to move up.
Move up
So
and
we
then take one shot rather than two.
Get this
Yeah.
thing back in the light. Yeah, for sure.
Totally. Yeah, I'm down to do that. So Norman is going to move himself up, skirting past everyone.
So Norman runs over some of the gravestones onto the path and stops in front of Vadim.
Mag, I told you I'd give you light when you needed light, okay? I'm trying to help. And then he fires a bow at the crab. An arrow. Oh my god, I just cannot ever handle that one. That's a bummer. That was a natural one for old Normie. First one ever.
A fumble card because you fumbled hard.
Crazy to hero point this?
I'll put it this way. The one time I did this and didn't hero point it, I lost a hand. Now you're doing a ranged attack, so it's harder to imagine that would be quite so brutal, but it wouldn't be crazy. It seemed
Do
like
you want to lose sleep over this is the question.
Yeah, it seemed like a not good use of a hero point until
Well, and
my
now I'm
hand came
projecting
off.
ahead, right? Because we're on episode 18. So then there's next episode when I die because I used the hero point now and didn't
That's
need
right.
to, right?
Or you could start doing heroic stuff and getting hero points.
But
You know, I just offered my light to Mag. I'm going to hero point this.
Okay.
and we still got the good song out of it.
That's a 17, which I'm guessing is not gonna do it with old Krabby Crab.
That is not going to do it with old Krabby Crab as Norman's arrow lands between Mag's feet in front of this crab creature. Trill is now in darkness as Norman has rushed forward with his blighted cape.
But
What is
Trill
Trill gonna
has
do?
Trill has low light vision, so
Yes, it's true.
Trill's never really in darkness unless it's
No.
pitch black.
When would that ever happen?
Who can say?
Trill looks back at the mayor and says, "Stay here."
It seems as though the mayor is going to have no trouble following that direction.
And she's going to move up to get a little closer, get a little better aim.
So, Trill, Mag is between you and the crab creature, so the crab creature is going to get a very small bonus to its armor class.
Is there any way, could I have changed my positioning? Could I have gone down here? Because even if I'd gone here instead...
So, Robin, you're considering going off to the east? Unfortunately, that's outside the range of telekinetic projectile.
No, not telekinetic projectile.
Oh, sorry, Ray of Frost.
Ray
What's
of
the range on
Frost
Ray of
is
Frost?
120
That's, like,
feet.
Huge. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Why didn't
So,
you say so?
I started here, so if I go to here, that's only 20 feet.
So Trill is able to run off to the east, not next to Norman or Vadim, and gets a clear line of sight to this crab creature.
So she's going to attack with Ray of Frost, and that roll is 21.
Ooh.
21 just hits.
Little battle bard.
Nicely
Goodness.
So a jet of frost bursts from Trill's harp, flying between the gravestones, and hits the crab creature. How much damage are we talking
And
about?
leave my friends alone. She does a whole 6 damage. Better than nothing.
You
Definitely.
freeze a little bit of the exterior of the crab's shell, rendering it maybe slightly more vulnerable to follow-up hits. But the crab continues looking at Mag, whose turn it now is.
Bueno! Oh, it's so nice to start a turn next to something and with my weapon already out. Woo! And vaguely able to see it and not knowing the first thing about what it is. Oh, this is barbarian stuff. Okay.
Rage, 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 rage,
Mag
rage.
rages. Yeah! And the uneven and unruly texture of this crab's carapace, yeah. Starts the near planes of it start to take on this strange red glow as Mag's offhand starts to glow with these small kind of bluish shadows extending behind them. Mag then is going to intimidate this thing. So she is going to do that in the best way she knows how, which is by screaming at it.
Oh, smart. Okay, cool. Good. So you're going to scream at the crab.
And that is a 12.
The 12, as Mag screams at this crab creature, it just blinks at you. Its row of weird little beady eyes blinks in one after the other, and it doesn't seem to be particularly affected.
Mag pauses for a moment and blinks back at it in the exact same cadence. And then takes a big swipe at it with her sword. And that is a 16 to hit.
And Mag puts all of her weight behind this slice, and her sword winds up getting caught in one of the quills of the crab's leg.
Tink.
And she retrieves it, having done no damage.
Tink, tink, tink.
It was too icy.
Yes. You knock some poisonous snow onto the ground. And it is now Vadim's turn.
Vadim is going to sprint up past Norman. And as he passes Norman, he's going to clap Norman on the back quickly and say, "Good job with the light. Keep it on us."
Okay, I will.
I love how bossy Vadim is.
Vadim is such a bossy dude now.
Yeah, and all of a sudden he's also like a field marshal.
Well, I was
Like
going to say, he's like our commander.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
very slaughtered undead for, who knows
guess,
how many
yeah,
years.
yeah.
So
That's right.
He's probably seen the more battlefields than we have.
Maybe not a few more, but probably not that many more.
I
I
guess
think
all
he just likes to tell
He's
you
just a
guys what
bossy
to do
guy.
a little bit. Yeah. And then as he sort of pivots around the crab to move into a flanking position with Mag, He brandishes his blades and moves them through a flowing double strike, of course. So here's the first strike with the Aldori dueling sword. That is an 18 to hit.
18
Oh, that's
is a miss.
Even flat-footed?
Even flat-footed. Put that on a bumper sticker. Yes, even flat-footed.
Look, it's something I'm on the lookout for. All right.
You know, the worst thing that can happen when you ask is that someone says no.
Exactly. And the dagger strike is a 22 to hit.
All right.
22 is going to be a hit as Vadim's dagger finds a joint in this crab's leg just above where the quills are.
That's how you get the little leg meat out.
That's where you get the leg meat out. And as Vadim draws his dagger back, also it's covered with this gross poison. But how much damage did Vadim do?
That is 6 damage.
Chipping away.
And then he leaps back into a ready fighting stance, his blades held up.
As he does that, the 3 guards look at their fallen comrade, Barnett, and they say,
Just ask your question. What's up?
What do we do? What do we do?
Have we been missing Vadim's poison damage?
It's not actually damage. At the end of his turn, thank you, David. I appreciate that. I need Vadim to make a fortitude save.
Oh, here we go. That is a 22 fortitude save.
Vadim braces himself as his heart continues to pump the poison through his blood, and he shakes it off. He's no longer afflicted by...
He's no longer an afflicted boy.
He's no longer an afflicted boy.
No more afflictions for this good boy, eh?
So the guards look around and they're like, What do we do? What do we do?
Get in there. Keep doing what you did last time.
You can do it.
Hit more.
Amber runs forward, leaving the bisected body of her friend Barnett at her heels. She runs forward and swings the club out at this crab creature with a 24 to hit.
Amber!
She does 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah. That's our girl, Amber.
MVP.
This crab is supposed to be really scary, guys.
Well, I feel like normally you don't have double the party size.
Yeah.
It's true. And Amber disengages from the crab, runs over towards this tomb to her northwest, and starts catching her breath, putting her hands on her knees. At which point Jessica runs forward, landing next to Mag. Mag turns and sees Jessica wind up with her club to bring it down onto the crab. That's a 23 to hit. And here comes 8 points of
Jessica!
bludgeono damn.
My favorite part about this is how annoyed Lars is.
Yeah, he did not want these guards killing this crab.
Hey, Lars, why
Yeah.
you hitting yourself?
Yeah, this is the heroic story of a bunch of weirdos who got their friend killed in a castle and then persuaded the guards to kill a crab.
Yeah, I feel like what we're doing right now is we're in a sports movie about the guards in Otari.
Right,
It's sort
right.
of like
We're just secondary
ragtag
players.
misfits. Yeah, we're NPCs in their movie right now, 100%.
And then here comes Mark, still slightly off balance, running up next to Mag as well. And he brings the club down on top of the crab. And it's a 24 to hit. And that is 10 more points of damage as a crack forms in the center of the crab's body and it collapses dead on the ground.
He does it again.
As Mark turns to Mag and says, Was that helpful? Did I help?
You guys did great. That was exactly
do
what
a
we were
good-
looking for.
Can we
Good
give this
job.
guy a parade or something? That was fucking awesome.
And Mag, still raging, like whips her head around to him and says, "There is no courage without fear."
Mag, looking around and seeing that there are no more enemies around the graveyard, feels her rage start to subside.
Norman goes up and immediately begins probing the crab's mouth
My
carefully.
inspire
Maybe he's got
courage
some
hasn't even
gloves
run
on for its sharp, crabby teeth.
Does it have any good teeth in there?
Wait, what did you
So-
say, Robin? I didn't even hear.
Sorry, my inspired courage hasn't even fucking run out yet.
not
This is
even.
ridiculous.
Not even close. I think we found the right like path to success in this game, which is making it so that GM rolls help us instead of hurting us.
Right.
So Lars only only critting stuff.
We just
is
have to-
critting all the monsters.
I mean, here's what
Yeah.
we do. And this is why I was trying to remember at the beginning of the game when I was trying to get the Mitflits on our side. You just have to always let me convince the NPCs to join our team.
Yes, I think Mag is always into this as long as they haven't already been attacking her.
So before they start attacking,
Yes.
just let me
Yeah,
go
yeah.
first and try and convince NPCs to join us.
I'm gonna delay turns and leave the coercion up to y'all. I'll hit whatever's left when you're done.
I didn't roll under a 13 for those guards even once.
Well, false. Didn't Mark roll a crit? Mark rolled a crit fail. He
Mark
fumbled.
tripped once and Barnett was immediately bisected. But other than that,
To be fair, in a sort of Greek tragedy way, he had it coming. Barnett, I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm sure that will
Barnett.
bring comfort to
Barnett's
his
family. The orphans that he was raising at home.
So Norman, who of course knows nothing about this crab creature, that's confirmed. Crabs don't have teeth. What are you talking about?
I see, at least on the outside there, some teeth-like things.
Oh, mandibles.
So are these mandibles interesting to Norman?
Yeah, he's going to take a look.
Okay, so Norman wrenches the mandibles out of the crabs.
Look, it's got teeth, he announces.
As he announces that, the mayor starts advancing towards you, past Trill, towards the rest of the group in the northern part of the graveyard. And he looks like he is in very bad shape. He's just talking to himself, and he falls to his knees and starts looking at this crab creature. He turns to see Barnett, or at least the remainder of Barnett, at his side. And he looks at you and he's just like, no.
Trill
You're-
takes the mayor's hand, one of the mayor's hands in her hand, to try and soothe him.
Okay. And as you're doing that, what he's saying to you is, he looks at you and he says, you're those people who were there when that old elf died. Oh, now I can see that those words that I spoke at his funeral were lies. There's nothing we can do now. That lighthouse will kill all of us, just like it killed that Haplo. There's no heroism in this. There's just us and death.
But we stopped. We stopped it today. You're still alive right now. Because of us, because of Amber and Jessica and Mark, and because of Barnett. He helped too. He gave his life to help us.
So go ahead and give me a diplomacy roll to make an impression on the mayor.
Can do.
As Trill comforts the mayor with this perspective.
Oh, for fuck's sake. 13. 5 on the die. Are you kidding me?
get hero point it.
I want to hero point that because I
We
can
are
roll
all
better
gonna
than
die
a 5.
so bad in episode 19.
No, I
I'm
have 2
just
hero.
saying.
I have 2 hero points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, then go
just
for
me
it.
then. Just me.
I think it would help to have. I think it would help to have the town a little more favorably disposed to us.
Yeah, I have 2 hero points, and I can do better than a fucking 5 on the die for that. That made me mad. I have good diplomacy, damn it.
Interesting. You're going to do better with your second roll. I didn't think that.
I've never seen it happen, but let's see what goes down.
Are you kidding me? I still only got an 8 on the die. 16.
He turns to Trill and he says, I can't do anything. Who am I? I'm just one man. Oh, I'm going to die. And he starts wailing in the sky, into the air.
And seeing this scene unfold, Norman takes it upon himself to offer some advice. He has, no business or knowledge base for offering, and he walks down and he's like, Mayor Menhemes, I know we haven't always agreed, but let me tell you this. And his cape is still glowing and his eyes start glowing, and he kind of picks up his head under the chin. He's like, it's written in the stars that the people in this graveyard, we're going to save this town. If you can trust us to do that and give us the tools we need to go back to that keep and make sure this doesn't happen again. What do you say?
Let's get that diplomacy roll.
Oh, I think of it as a deception.
Oh, that's a deception. Sure, you're lying to him to placate him.
And Norman also
an
has a +1 to his deception, which we can discuss or not discuss, but that's a 19.
Did you do the secret thing?
The secret thing!
I would just like all
Okay.
listeners to know that we also have no idea
we
what
have
they're
no
talking
idea.
about.
Norman's got someone with him who will give him a boost. You'll meet them eventually.
I will say that Norman's eyes were glowing, if that's the thing that Zoe's talking about that we don't actually know about.
Wait,
So as you see Norman,
Did you say Norman has someone with him?
Maybe.
Oh my great good God.
maybe I said that. I don't know. There's no way to have any
Yeah,
idea what
we
I
can't-
said on
we
this
can't
audio
prove it.
recording.
Oh, God. Norman's so complicated.
As you see Norman look Mayor Menhemes in the eye and lie straight to his face, volunteering to do good things for the mayor to help him out, you get the sense that there's some magical enhancement to Norman's lie. And the mayor stands up, freezes for a moment, looks down at the ground in front of him, and then crosses his arms. And he says, I see. Yes, I've been a fool.
Arguably Norman's first successful lie?
Amazing.
Aided by God knows what.
I want to point out also, David's hair is literally like standing on
Standing
end
on edge,
right now.
that's right.
That's what happens when I rage.
I was thinking, I don't know if it's from rage, I don't know if it's frustration with this moment.
So the mayor finds himself looking into Norman's oddly golden eyes, and he says, I'm going to say something that is very difficult to say.
Okay. We're here for you.
I see now that I've made mistakes. I've become too wrapped up in this, the mill, the office, even my dear family. I've been proud. And from there, I've become afraid of losing this. And I've let the people of this great town down as he turns and sees this frightened huddle of people standing at the edge of the graveyard, looking over the carnage of these graves that have all been dug up, the skeletons strewn around, and this smell of this toxin from this crab having burned through the grass. It takes work to not be ruled by fear, and I need to do that work. You, and he turns to the four of you and brings you in closer as he starts orating. You were not afraid when you went to that place, and you were not afraid when you lost your friend. And now, tonight, when we needed you most, you were unafraid. When you saw your friend pulled from his rest, forced to walk again. And seeing what you've all done, how you've acted fearlessly, that's what I need to do now. I can't turn my back on that place as he looks up towards the now dormant gauntlet. I can't turn my back on it any longer, even if it makes all of these people upset. If they get upset, it's because they're afraid. But they elected me to not be afraid. Even if it's not popular to talk about Gauntlet, it's something we have to do now. It's at this point that the captain of the guard walks forward and poises over or positions himself over the body of Barnett.
Really thought you were going to say poisoned someone, and I was like, did not see that coming.
It's my town now, you dirty dog, he says.
That wasn't even subtle.
It's the perfect crime, poisoning a man in a graveyard.
In front of everybody.
In front of a
They never
dozen
see it coming.
witnesses.
You're not going to talk, you cowards. I'll arrest you. He turns back to the mayor and he says, listen to yourself. Barnett's dead. And the mayor turns him away. And he says, I want to show you something, as he grabs a hold of Norman's shoulder and points down to the manor that he lives in, down on the other side of the cliff, down, like the graveyard is on this cliff up above town. And on the far opposite side of town, you see his large manor that he lives in. And there's magical light illuminating the windows.
Oh.
He says, there's light in that manor because my wife and children are there. My oldest daughter, Doriana, most likely was still awake when it happened. She's going to be all grown up soon, and I want a future for her. She's smart. She can make a life for herself in Absalom, do something great in the big city. I have to do this for her. If what happened tonight, or something worse, happens again, it's not just me who will be gone, it's all of them. I need to stop being fearful about myself and start being hopeful for everyone in this town. And he looks at all four of you as Captain Longsaddle starts talking, and he's like, well, now hold on just a sec. He says, Lardis, 1 second.
I'm sorry, Lardass?
His name is
Lardis.
Lardis, Captain Lardis Longsaddle.
Lardis.
That's Captain Lardis to you.
Upon realizing that you four assholes just learned his embarrassing name, he turns white as a sheet.
Lordas. This guy's name is Lorda.
Now, please be respectful. It's a family name. He's very sensitive about it.
Vadim is looking for a high five from someone, but goes
Trill just
unhigh.
immediately starts writing a limerick in her head. There once was a man named Lardass.
And he says to you, I need each of you, I need all of you to go back to that place and make sure that light never shines on our town again. It's a tough request I've made of you, and that's why I'm willing to offer each of you 50 gold pieces.
I can do a little better than that.
If I recall correctly, I feel like you have been celebrating over 1 gold piece up until right about now.
We've seen some of the stores in your personal arsenal that you display with such conspicuous consumption outside your manor. So you can afford it. Is the point I'm trying to make.
And at this point, Norman senses that everyone is starting to sour on them, and he doesn't want to lose his golden moment. So he hops up on a gravestone and he goes, friends, tonight is a night we come together and we welcome in the golden light from the mayor's house and from the town, and we agree together to vanquish that terrible blue light from up there.
Yeah, but I want money.
And hang on, Norman. I think we still need to have a discussion, honestly and openly between us.
Absolutely we can, but could we, I don't know, go sit down at Rin's and do that? Or, not in front of all these people who are now cheering us on?
Yeah, the people standing around the crowd see that the mayor is encouraging you. I think that they're a little bit out of earshot, so they don't hear you haggling and being jerks and ruining the moment.
Totally undercutting the drama. Yeah.
I'm just saying, let's talk about that anywhere else but here.
So Mag takes a long look at Norman standing on this gravestone, and she steps forward. She locks eyes with Norman. She nods her head once, and she offers Norman her hand to help Norman jump down from the grave.
Fair enough.
Norman takes it and jumps down.
And Mag, seeing the four of them getting ready to move off together, turns briefly back to the townspeople, some of whom she's known all her life, who are sort of cheering on and encouraging, and finally are on the side of this group of adventurers. Finally, believe Mag for the first time in her entire life. She waves slowly and solemnly to them, and projecting strength and confidence and self-assurance that she's actually starting to feel for the first time in her life, back toward the crowd. And then she turns back toward the party.
And I imagine everyone sort of slowly traipsing out of the graveyard, their silhouettes from Norman's cape going into the distance.
So the four of you leave. The crowd of townspeople parts as you walk through, and the mayor, and he turns to the captain, and he says, well, I hope the four of them are able to do what they say they'll do, because we're counting on them. As the crowd parts and the four of you leave the graveyard.
Miss Trill, I was glad to see you out there. And I am greatly relieved to have your capable wit and magic on our side once again.
Yeah, I guess I'm sticking around.
I'm glad to hear it.
Speaking of sticking around, I know I haven't given you guys a lot of reason to trust me, but I want to tell you something about myself, Norman says once they've gotten outside the periphery of the graveyard. And he reaches in his cloak, and in a little pocket there, he pulls out a small glowing tooth.
And we'll pick up from there next time.
Oh, that was so good!
The Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production, produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy. The Roots of Ruin uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's Community Use Policy. We are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. Paizo does not recognize, endorse, or sponsor this project in any way. Original characters and content are the property of Tabletop Gold. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. Email us at letters@tabletopgold.com and find all our social links at tabletopgold.com.